We'd like to address the advantages and disadvantages of FPDs, and FPD is a flat panel detector. And I get asked often, why don't we see flat panel detectors in our RNF rooms? And the answer usually, if I put that out to a number of people, is, well, because of the cost. And that probably is one of the reasons, but there's more to that than just the cost, and we're going to address that. This is just a look at a room. This happens to be a Siemens room. And you can see the detector on the top just over the patient is flat, and that's a flat panel detector. And you can tell also that this is an interventional or cardiac cath suite. I mean, I can't imagine it would be used for anything else. And they have this flat panel detector, and above the flat panel detector, there's hardly anything. So you don't have the bulk that you have with the IIs. And right there you can see there's an advantage. In a lot of ways, just moving it around is a big advantage. So that's where you're going to see most of your FPDs, are in the interventional suites. What I want to look at first is, if you look at the top of this image, those are all different C-arms made by different manufacturers. And each one of them has an II, or an image intensifier, and that's that bulky area, the bulky area on the top. And down below, it's exactly the same C-arm made by the same manufacturer. There are 3 different ones with a flat panel detector. So the C-arm on the top, the C-arms on the top have IIs, and if you look directly below it, you'll see the same C-arm, but with the flat panel detectors. So the configuration, the main part that's different, is the flat panel detector itself, and not the rest of the system, as far as how it emits radiation and all of that. These flat panel detectors can be very handy, because you don't need all the stuff you need with an image intensifier to handle the information the way you want to handle it. You don't have to have, number one, the bulk of the image intensifier. You don't have to have the video camera. You don't have to have the digital spot film device or a cine camera. The flat panel detectors take care of that. They do it all. So if you look at this image, you can see the II, and on the very top with the II, you have all of these attached. With the FPD, you don't have any of it. They're made just by being what they are, turning the X-ray into electronic information, to be able to handle all of this and do the same thing. They have multiple operational modes, and these can be adjusted to combine filters, pulse rate modes, doses per pulse, so you can change that, say from 15 to 10 to 7.5, to save dose to your patients. And they have several different field sizes at the image detector, as well as operational modes. They have magnification, just like you get with the IIs, but really not quite as much dose. They have low, medium, and high dose rates, or modes, so that you can select what quality of image you want to have. And this is an illustration of what that might look like as far as dose to the patient. So on the left-hand side, you have a 16 centimeter, and this is an acrylic phantom. When you see the PMMA, that simply means acrylic phantom. And so we're looking at a small size patient. And if you use the low dose mode, you're getting 10 milligrays per minute. If you use the medium dose, it's bumping up to 20.5, and the highest would be 38.3. Now, why do they do this? They save dose. Well, what they've decided when they do this, when they go down to the lowest, is they can put up with a noisier image. It doesn't have to be as high quality as one where you use the highest dose, and it just depends on what's being done. The next part of this shows a medium-sized patient at 20 centimeters, and the lowest dose would be 23.5. The medium up to 47, almost 48, and the highest one at 79, which is substantially more than the little patient, but still, you can give them the small amount if you can deal with a noisier image, or if you need the highest quality, you go to the almost 80 milligrays per minute entrance dose. And at the 24 level, at the thickness of 24 centimeters, you can see there's quite a jump in every single level. The lowest is at 58, which is almost 6 times more than the thinner patient got. The medium is at 87.2, and then the highest dose is actually just under 100 milligrays per minute, which is quite a bit higher than the other two. They do have the same dose issues as far as their patients are concerned as the IIs do. You have to worry about keeping your OID exactly what it should be so you don't increase the amount of dose to your patient. You want to make sure that your flat panel detector is as close to the part or to the person as possible. Your source to skin distance has to be accurate, and you want to keep your fluoro time as low as possible. You can use your mag modes as well, and the good news again is that they use substantially less dose than the IIs do. And pulse modes are also available. But do they give us better quality? And the bottom line is, the reason we really aren't seeing them in RNF rooms right now, at least most of them, is because they don't give us as good a quality image at the lower doses. They have an insufficient gain, which just means your image doesn't look as good from our perspective. They also have electronic noise that causes a problem. And you might see lag with them, which you don't want to see, especially when you're working with the vessels and that sort of thing in some of the examinations that you have to do. And this is just an image of what lag might look like. They are moderately good at intermediate exposures. They are distortion-free as far as your images go, which is really good because with the IIs, especially if you use the entire receptor, then you will get distortion on the periphery and even before you get to the periphery. But with the flat panel detectors, we don't have that problem. It's the same at the center and the periphery. It doesn't matter where you are. And there's no vignetting, which means you don't lose the brightness. And this is just showing you an II image on the left-hand side and the flat panel detector on the right. And you can see just by looking at it, the amount of distortion, whatever distortion you're looking at, is basically non-existent with the flat panel detectors, and they give you excellent spatial resolution. So they are much better at significantly high exposures, which is why you do see them in the interventional and the cardiac cath suites. They have excellent detectable quantum efficiency, which basically, to keep it simple, just means that when the X-ray comes in from the patient carrying the information, they're very efficient at changing that into electrical information for your image. They have excellent contrast resolution, spatial resolution, and they also have a great wide dynamic range, which just simply means that they're picking up every single bit of energy that's coming into them from the very least to the very most. And these digital units have this very, very wide range that they can use to give you the best image possible.